The Stars and Stripes Honor Flights. Why are they so important today? During the Vietnam and Korean Wars, thousands of young men and women, the average age being 19, gave so much. Some giving the ultimate sacrifice, their lives. Many of the survivors were never given a hero's welcome, and some, like the African American soldiers in uniform, were racially shunned and mistreated by their fellow Americans when they returned home. Saturday, May 18th, 2024, the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight's 74th mission to Washington, D.C. for 112 veterans includes the 10,000th veteran to make that journey. They are about to experience the welcome home they never got. Today is the day. We want you to come along with us to our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. It's the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight. It is a day about friendship, love, courage, sacrifice, honor, and gratitude. I can't wait for you to see these monuments and hear these incredible, inspiring stories from our local veterans.
This is really exciting, everyone. The 10,000th veteran to be on the honor flight here at the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight. Del, thank you so much for your service. Were you surprised when you showed up and you had the sash and the hat?
I'm in shock.
And who do you have here with you today?
My granddaughter.
My role model.
She knew about it. She hid it from me.
And tell us about your service.
I was a sergeant with a combat MOS. I was drafted. I made the absolute most of it. I learned so much. It was unbelievable. And you really learn a lot about freedom and the price. They told me it's going to be unbelievable, but I tell you, it is unbelievable. So, well, I don't think nothing's going to top this.
At this time, we're going to sing Star Spangled Banner. Take it away.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleamings, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed. And the rocket's red glare of the bursting in air gave proof through the night that the flag was still there. Oh, the state of that star-spangled banner yet waves. Oh,
We have some special guests here sitting right behind us, Don, Milt, and Bob. Don over here is a World War II veteran in the Navy. Don, what does it mean for you to go out to Washington, D.C. on the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight?
Well, it's certainly not something I was expecting to experience. One thing is, I can't really believe how many volunteers are here.
There's a waiting list to be a volunteer with the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight. That's how many people want to be here and put this on for all of you and show you the homecoming you deserve and our gratitude.
Well, that's really, really special.
Bob, you were talking about what it was like when you were young and in the Navy. Tell us about your experience when you enlisted. How old were you? What's your story?
It was a learning experience. I mean, I went after high school, so I was in for 3 years.
Excellent.
It was an experience I'll never forget.
What emotions come to mind as you see everyone boarding the plane? You see the different branches represented. We had the national anthem. What are you thinking and feeling?
Well, I'm overwhelmed. I mean, to see all these people, it just sends chills up and down my spine, you know, and to see that these people are still alive, you know, to experience this as well. So it's an honor. You know what? Anybody that wants to go in, go in service. Any branch, do your country a favor and go in.
Well said.
It was a great thing I did, and I love this country.
And incredible homecoming. This is so fantastic. Before we wrap up here, because I know we're moving, what are you most excited to see today?
Everything.
What would you say to a veteran who's watching this right now and they're thinking, should I sign up for this? I'm not sure. I mean, it can be really emotional and hard for a lot of people.
Yes, it is, but I would tell them, give it a shot. Try it one time and you will never forget it in your whole life.
Don, how does it feel to be recognized?
Overwhelming.
Thank you, Don. Thanks for your service. Welcome.
I feel like a kid. I really do. I really do. All this niceness and oh my God, I can't find the words to describe it, but it's so beautiful.
Coming up, hear an emotional story about a Vietnam veteran's homecoming and an unexpected connection on the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight. The Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial was the first to recognize a Black American on the National Mall. The actual address of the memorial is 1964 Independence Avenue Southwest, a nod to the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The theme of the memorial, Dr. King Emerging from a Mountain, is derived from a quote in his I Have a Dream speech, delivered on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial during the March on Washington in 1963. Out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope.
here at the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial in beautiful DC. Yes, it's a rainy day, but you know what? Our spirits are high.
Very much so.
We are here for an incredible reason, and I am joined with two gentlemen. First, I want to say hello to Johnny. Thank you for your service, Johnny.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Army from 70 to 73. Spent a year in Vietnam. Came back home, spent another year and a half in Fort Carson in Colorado.
How was that Fort Carson?
Oh, God.
In Colorado Springs?
We got too many days.
We need to bring in his guardian right now,
Yeah.
Derek Mosley.
So my dad was a Vietnam vet, and my dad passed away waiting for a kidney. And his wife had a kidney transplant. I had a kidney transplant.
And I'm a kidney donor.
And you're a kidney donor. And so
Are you kidding me?
No.
How am I just learning this? That's incredible.
40 years she's had a kidney.
She might be the oldest recipient in Wisconsin.
That is remarkable.
Yeah, that's what I
40
said to him.
years.
Yeah.
This is quite the bonding connection that we're all making here today. But you having a father who's in Vietnam, you're here with a Vietnam vet.
Yep.
What does it make you think of when it comes to your dad and what he would think about?
I told him, today I'm your son. Because I couldn't bring my dad here, so it just means so much to me. I said when we got off the plane, like, today I'm your son.
Yeah. And when I first talked to him, I didn't know who he was. I just thought he was some random guy. So then I come up today and he says, I'm your volunteer, I'm your guide. And I looked and I said, Chief Mosley? Chief Judge Mosley? I said, you with me? And now we find out we got a connection. You know, he's from Chicago, I was born in Milwaukee. But we've got a lot of things in common that we didn't even know. You know, we don't live far from each other.
Live close to each other. We eat at the same restaurant. Probably been there at the same time.
Probably, you know, so it's crazy.
Well, and that's what's really fantastic about the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight, because it's bringing people together from all different backgrounds, all different connections to this country and to the military. While you are here, and I know we just got started, there's so much to see. Who are some of the people that are on your mind and your heart today as you arrived in DC and you approach some of these monuments and memorials?
I'm thinking about my dad. He was in World War II. He died when I was 14. So I never got to hear his story. So I think it's great that our stories are now being told. When we pulled into the airport at Dulles and we walked through that amazing greeting, I had to hold back my tears. You know, it's been 50 years since I've been out of service. And when I got out, they were spitting on me, they were calling me names when I was in uniform.
Black troops received 34.3% of court martials, 25.5% of non-judicial punishments, and made up 58% of military prisoners. Approximately 300,000 African Americans served in the Vietnam War. In 1965, they filled 31% of the ground combat battalions in Vietnam, while the percentage of African Americans in the general population was only 12%.
To have this happen, what happened was there's four of us guys. We eat once a month, first Saturday of every month at El Greco's in Milwaukee.
Shout out.
We started up Civil War reenactment. We found out that there was a black troop from Wisconsin during the Civil War, and we did Civil War reenactments for over 10 years. And one of the guys said, let's try to go on the honor flight. You know, I had thought about it, but I said, that ain't for me. You know, I was so down on how people treated us that I didn't want to be involved with anything involved with the Army. You know, I worked 43 years at the VA, so that was my experience with the Army. That was enough for me. But when he brought that to me, I said, it's time for me to make a new memory for myself. So here we are.
You're right, because the story isn't done. This is another chapter in the story. And to come here and reflect and maybe make peace with some of that. And it's a shame to hear what that homecoming was like for you. And that's what the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight is about. Is about giving you veterans that have made so many sacrifices a homecoming that you deserve. And take that in and enjoy that. Because you deserve that.
I am taking it. But that's one of the problems with the Vietnam vet. is that we were treated so bad, we went into a shell because the guys out in the bush were strung out on heroin and stuff, and they were trying to clean them up before they were coming home.
Wow.
So they were bringing guys out of the bush, you know, into these facilities to clean them up as best they could.
And then to put them back out into
the community.
And be like, hey, here you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the VA wasn't doing anything. They've gotten a lot better over the last 20 years, I would say. But a lot of guys are going through that and they're not getting the help that they need. It took me 20, almost 30 years to get help from the VA. Well, now I'm in therapy. I see a psychologist. I got meds. And my wife is going like,
Who are you?
Yeah, where'd that guy go?
And she's been with you for 50 years.
Yeah, where'd that guy go? Where'd he go? Who are you? You know, so it's great.
Good for you.
It's
Good
great.
for you. And again, I go back to just in school. I feel like Vietnam was really glossed over. We spent a lot of time on World War I and World War II.
Exactly, in Korea.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
nothing on
Yeah.
No, and it's time to share those stories, and also it's an opportunity for us to grow and learn, and admit there were mistakes and how to correct those mistakes so that doesn't happen again.
Exactly.
Do you feel like progress is being made when it comes to the Black community and
the judge here? 9/11, I think that was a turning point for how people treated vets and how they looked different at the Vietnam vet. And when they saw that the Iraqi and Desert Storm and all of that was going on, they saw how that was affecting their kids that were coming back. America stepped up, and they've been stepping up. Since then, I see a difference. You know, people telling you, thank you for your service and all of this, whereas before they wouldn't say nothing.
And I hope you can see, though, that shows the respect that we have.
That's all I've seen today.
You know, but then it's so deserved,
Yeah.
and it should have been years ago.
Should have been years
and
ago.
you're seeing it now. So even though it's not when it was then, but you're getting it now.
Yeah,
but that's the respect.
Yeah.
I told Johnny I heard something. I said, you need to say this. When I came to the airport, I said, hey, thank you for your service to another vet. He turned around and he said, you were worth it. And I said, that is one of,
I had never heard that from as a response before. He told me that he heard the guy say that.
I was like, oh my God.
And I thought about it. I said, wow, how deep is that? You know, you are worth it.
Right, to be able to put the uniform on and fight for a country and fight for people
never seen.
that you won't even
Right.
maybe meet.
And then say, you are worth it.
Oh, we got Icky. Icky made it. We were chatting with him before we got here.
He wants to know how you got that name, Icky.
My uncle named me that. I was 2 years old.
2 years old?
All through life.
Wow.
All through my life.
Everybody else is smiling. You're making everybody around you smile.
Adams and Mosley. Yeah. Vixen Avi. Yeah. What? That was very enthusiastic. Brooks and Avi. Yeah. Okay, thank you. And Woski. The Tyscos. Yo. Psycho. 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 Not that I've known it so
When I came to the airport, I said, hey, thank you for your service to another vet. He turned around and he said, you were worth it. I was like, oh my God.
And I thought about it. I said, wow, you are worth it.
Out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope.
You are worth it.
When the soldiers came home from Vietnam, there were no parades, no celebrations. So they built the Vietnam Memorial for themselves. William Westmoreland.
Daughter, father here, trip of a lifetime, Washington, D.C. How did this all come about?
My daughter.
And talk about what this has been like for both of you to be here today and see these monuments and just be among so many other veterans.
Yeah, well, when we were walking, just coming off of the bus, it was emotional.
I was in 1965 to 67. I served in the Navy, and we took some Marines over from San Diego. We took them to Da Nang, and then we went on station off the coast of Cambodia.
What does it mean to you now to see people look at him and say, your dad's a hero?
It means so much. I can't put it into words. It's really touching because I think, especially now, we don't, as we move through our day, we don't see things, we're not grateful for things because maybe you're caught up in your own little world or whatever's happening in the world. But to know that they sacrificed so much and they saw so many things at such a young age, it's touching that we give this day to them.
And thank you for your service, John.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Mike, thank you for being here today. Thank you for your service. Tell us a little bit about your time in the military, when you served, what branch.
I was in the military from 69 to 71. I went in 1 week after the first moonwalk. This place is just, it's like a sacred ground for our country. So I think it's one of the most inspiring places to be. One person from our hometown that I knew growing up, right, who ended up going over and getting killed in the war. So
And paying the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, Lieutenant Mike Kelly is on that wall somewhere from Menominee Falls.
Oh wow! Well, that's really powerful that you remember him and take time to mention his name.
Some end up paying the ultimate price. Many of us are fortunate enough to come back home without any wounds, but everyone who goes in knows what they could be called upon to do if the time comes, right?
I'm just very proud to be here as a guardian. It's a great program that they have, and just seeing the interactions that I get to be a little bit closer to my dad is great to have.
Within the walled triangle of the Korean War Memorial, there are 19 stainless steel statues designed by Frank Gaylord and collectively called the Column. Each statue is larger than life size, between 7 feet 3 inches and 7 feet 6 inches tall. Each weighs nearly 1,000 pounds. The figures represent a platoon on patrol, drawn from the branches of the armed forces. 14 of the figures are from the U.S. Army. 3 are from the Marine Corps. 1 is a Navy corpsman, and 1 is an Air Force Forward Air Observer. They are dressed in full combat gear, dispersed among stripes of granite and juniper bushes, which represent the rugged terrain of Korea.
How are you going to look back on this day?
Wow, I won't ever forget it.
It's the most visited memorial on the National Wall in Washington, D.C., attracting more than 5 million people each year. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial. The most prominent feature of the memorial is a massive wall that lists the names of the more than 58,000 servicemen and women who lost their lives during the Vietnam War. The average age on this wall is 19.
Maureen the Marine.
Right. Got sworn in the 23rd of August of 58 and went down to Parris Island.
And what made you decide to be a Marine?
Particularly the Marines, because I liked their uniform. The blues were so sharp.
They are sharp. We had another Marine here, Icky, who said the same thing, that the Marines came to school and he said, that's the branch I want to join.
Right.
And what was your experience like being in the Corps? Were there a lot of women in the Marines at that time?
I didn't realize there were so few. I learned about 15 years ago that back then there were only 2,000 of us. Now there's 20,000 at least.
And what did you learn? I'm sure a lot of things from your time being in the Marine Corps.
Well, we only worked stateside back then. Parris Island for basic, Camp Lejeune, and then up to Washington, D.C.
When you tell people, hey, I'm Maureen, the Marine, what kind of reaction do you get from folks?
I didn't used to say that, but they remember me now, and oh, you're Maureen the Marine. It's just, it's a different reaction.
There's a lot of respect there.
Yeah.
A lot of respect there.
When we came through the airport with all those people shaking your hand and saying thank you, I was, if that would have been any longer, I would have been in tears.
Yeah.
It was the little ones and the...
Well, and it's important for people to come and show their support. You're one of our nation's heroes, and you've made sacrifices for us, and you've made sacrifices for people that you don't even know. And it's the least that we can do, and to have people show up and welcome you to DC in such a way, because that you deserve that. You were in the Marines between Vietnam and the Korean War.
Right.
And behind us is the Vietnam Wall. And there's, you can tell it's definitely, it's a somber memorial, and it's an area to remember those that made the ultimate sacrifice. They said that the average age on here was 19 years old. What thoughts come to mind for you when you're here looking at this wall?
The number of those lost. The very first time I saw this wall, because I only know one person on it, I thought this isn't going to bother me, but it brought me to tears. I'm so glad I did.
I'm glad you came too. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for your service. And Semper Fi, Marine.
Semper Fi.
Coming up next, we'll visit one of the most inspiring memorials in Washington, D.C., and learn how a fateful bus ride in 1966 led to true love today. I feel such an overwhelming sense of pride seeing Wisconsin World War II Memorial. My grandpa fought in the Navy in World War II, enlisted at 17, dropped out of high school to serve his country, and my great Aunt Polly, who was an Army nurse in World War II. These are the people who are on my heart and my mind while I'm here in Washington, D.C. Over 600 tomb guards have earned the badge since the late 1950s. The tomb guards work on a 3-relief rotation. Each relief has 1 commander and about 6 sentinels. The 3 reliefs are organized by height, so that those in each guard change ceremony look similar in appearance. There are 184 memorial benches dedicated to each of the victims, and they're organized in a timeline of their ages, from the youngest victim, 3-year-old Dana Falkenberg.
As you're reading the name, if you're looking away, those were people on the plane, because the plane would have been coming toward you. If you're looking at the bench and facing this way, they would be in the Pentagon and the plane.
Wow.
So that's how you can tell which are which.
Thank you for that. Okay, so these guys have quite the story.
Jamie and I got drafted the same day in 1960. '66, October 12th. We rode the bus from Elkhorn to Milwaukee, and the train from Milwaukee to Fort Leonard Wood together. And at the time I was married, he was single, but now my son married his daughter. And this is my other son, so I got both my sons here. I got a great daughter-in-law.
I have 4 daughters.
Oh my gosh.
And all these guys wanted to Lake are marrying them.
What a bond. And so what does it mean for you all to be here together?
Way more than I expected it to be. It's just phenomenal.
Very special.
I kind of got teared up.
The design for the Air Force Memorial symbolizes reaching for the stars, soaring above the earth and executing a bomb burst maneuver, best demonstrated by the United States Air Force Thunderbirds. Next on the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight, the Marines show their pride, and there's one final surprise for these veterans before our heroes' homecoming in Milwaukee. The United States Marine Corps War Memorial, more commonly known as the Iwo Jima Memorial, because the memorial is modeled after the 1945 Pulitzer Prize-winning photograph of the second flag raising on Iwo Jima by Associated Press photographer Joe Rosenthal.
As a mom of a Marine, seeing this is pretty incredible. I have so much pride for him and what he's chosen to do, but I'm talking with these veterans. I think about what these memorials mean to them personally, and this one is personal to me. But seeing the words when I walked up, honor, courage, and commitment. If you know the Marine Corps, that's what the Marines are about. I'm just really proud. I'm just really proud of him and thinking about the sacrifices that he's making to serve our country and so many men and women, and these men and women that are here today. But I look at those faces a little differently now that I know that my son's wearing the Marine Corps uniform.
The base of the memorial is composed of rough Swedish granite and contains inscriptions of the location and dates of every major battle involving the Marine Corps. The flag at the top of the pole of the Marine Corps Memorial flies at full mast 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, thanks to a 1961 presidential proclamation by John F. Kennedy.
So when I went in the Marine Corps, so the day out of high school, I graduated one day, next day I was in boot camp.
It happened that fast?
Yeah, I was 17, and then I turned 18 in October, and then headed for Japan in December, and I was there for 2 years.
And what has this day been like for you?
I can't explain it. The lady who paid for all this, she should have God's blessing, because she's blessed so many people. I have never had so many people say thank you for the service. And imagine that all these people, even like in DC, they don't even know us. They all showed up. I know what's going to be like when we get back home. Like, it's tremendous.
Thank you so much for your service.
Oh,
thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Honor, courage, commitment. Marines, let me hear ya.
I got a couple things for you. This is our Vietnam Honor Flight. We give that to all of our veterans as a way of saying thank you for your service.
We appreciate you.
This has been so much
This is a fun day.
Sorry about ruining your nap on the way home. We have another surprise on the plane for the vets. So we know that when you guys were in the service, it was hard to get information back and forth from home and letters and that sort of thing. So we have arranged a special Stars and Stripes Honor Flight mail call just for you. Michael Tobias! Tobias, you've got mail! Milton Renicky! Milts, you've got mail! Richard Hells! Dick Hells, you've got mail! Psycho! Psycho, you got mail! Psycho! Roger Staff, you have mail!
Those on the front lines, we send you our prayers and our gratitude. The risks that you take and the sacrifice made show your true angel sent from
Thank you so much for coming
above.
along with us as we honor these heroes today at our nation's capital. And you could be a part of all of this. You could make a donation or fundraise, sign up a veteran, or maybe you yourself are a veteran. Come on a trip of a lifetime with the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight.
To those on the front lines, we send you our prayers and our gratitude. You enter the battle without hesitation or attitude. Yet you're still feeling scared, for you know it won't spare you or anyone dear who you love. The risks that you take and the sacrifice made show your true angel sent from above. These are your sacred scars, each one revealing the person you are. This is a test of hearts. We can't give up when we've made it so far. These are your sacred scars.
The Stars and Stripes Honor Flight and their continuing mission to honor our veterans. For these veterans of the 74th Mission of Washington, D.C., it's the welcome home they never received. It's the welcome home they deserve.